The future of work and leadership always starts with us. Welcome to the Dr. Ginny Show. Let's dive in.
Let's get right into it. You know, there's this feeling that so many successful leaders have. You're hitting all your targets, your team's on fire, your calendar is just packed. But something feels off. There's this disconnect you just can't seem to name. Yeah, this right here. It's that sense that even when everything on the outside looks like a win, the work just feels heavy. The energy isn't quite there. You're doing the job, sure, but are you really leading in a way that fuels you and everyone around you? Turns out, that feeling usually points to one single, incredibly powerful leadership skill. So what is it? What's this one skill that we almost never get formally trained for, but it makes all the difference? Well, it's the ability to connect the day-to-day grind to a bigger picture, to a real purpose. And honestly, the best way to get a feel for its power is through a story. To really get this, we're going to have to go back in time to a really personal story. It's about a decision that changed everything, and the vision that made it all possible. So the story we're looking at takes us back to when the author was just 12 years old. Her mother, Teresa, was facing one of those impossible choices, a choice that was going to completely redraw the map of their family's future. I mean, just imagine the weight of that. Moving to a brand new country for the sake of your kids, but having to leave them behind to do it. The separation was huge. The future was a total question mark. That could have just been a story about pain and sacrifice, right? But it wasn't. And here's where everything changes. Her mother didn't get stuck on the hardship. No, instead, she painted this crystal clear picture of why. She gave that incredible sacrifice a purpose, a vision, of education, of new opportunities, and a future that was just brighter. And that right there, that's the whole ballgame. That vision wasn't just some nice idea. It was a leadership tool. It turned a painful goodbye into a shared mission. It gave the author the courage to push through because she understood the why behind it all. That is the power of purpose. Okay, so how do we take this incredibly powerful personal story about family and sacrifice and apply it to the modern workplace? Well, it's the absolute core of what takes a leader from just being good to being truly great. You see, the thing is, the most impactful leaders, they aren't always the ones with all the technical answers. They're the ones who can consistently connect the dots for their team. They show people how that one report or that one project actually matters in the grand scheme of things, how it connects to a shared why. And when you look at it side by side, wow, the difference is just night and day. On one side, when you lead without that clear why, you get compliance. People are just checking the boxes, they're stressed, they're doing what they're told. But on the other side, when you lead with purpose, you unlock ownership. You get real engagement. You get that extra effort people give when they genuinely care. You know, this whole idea of leading with purpose, it actually makes us rethink what power even means. For a lot of us, power can feel like a dirty word, something about control or being at the top of the food chain. But in this context, it's something totally different. The source material we're looking at here reframes power not as authority, but as your ability to make a positive impact. And it gives us this great acronym, POWER. It starts with learning to position yourself for growth. Then you've got to own your unique voice. From there, you learn to win others over with your influence. Then you execute, you get things done and drive success. And finally, you never stop. You retool your skills and keep growing your impact. And that's the whole point, isn't it? This isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about having an influence that really connects with people, that resonates, and that moves them to act, because it's coming from a place of purpose. It doesn't shout, it just lands. But here's the catch. You can't just jump into leading with purpose. There's a foundation you have to build first. Without it, the whole thing is pretty shaky. And that foundation? It's called psychological safety. You might have heard of it. Famous research from Google's Project Aristotle found that this is the #1 predictor of a high-performing team. It's basically the feeling that you won't get punished or humiliated for speaking up, for sharing an idea, asking a question, or even admitting you made a mistake. So if you want to get a read on this for your own team, you've got to ask yourself some really honest questions. First up, how heard and seen do your people feel, especially when they disagree with you or the group? Are different viewpoints really considered, or are they kind of quietly shut down? All right, next question. How willing are your team members to try something new, knowing it might not work out? Is failure treated like a learning opportunity, or is it something people feel like they need to hide? And finally, this is a big one. Have you created a space where people can bring their whole selves to work, not just the polished, perfect resume version? And look, creating this kind of safety, it's not just about being nice. It's about being deliberate, about building an environment of trust where that big why can actually take root and grow. Okay, so this is where we need to get personal. We're turning the camera around to look right at you. Because you can't build this environment for other people. You can't connect your team to a bigger purpose if you're not connected to your own first. It really, truly starts with you. At the end of the day, success, especially this kind of purposeful leadership, isn't about trying to be someone you're not. It's about having the guts to lead from a place that's authentic, that's grounded in who you really are. And to make this real, let's just look at the author from our source material. Her personal why is all about fulfilling her own potential while helping her son and her clients do the exact same thing. It's clear, it's personal, and you can bet it's a powerful driver. That's the kind of thing that pulls you out of bed in the morning, right? And that brings us right to the end here. And honestly, this is the most important part of this whole explainer. This isn't just about giving you information, it's an invitation for you to do a little digging yourself. So I'm going to leave you with this one simple question. What is your why? What's the fundamental purpose that drives you, that keeps you going when things get tough? Because once you can answer that for yourself, you'll be ready to help your team find their answer too.
If you enjoyed today's content, I appreciate your review so others can find us, and share it with your friends. And to stay in touch, join our community to receive valuable strategies and expert advice at drginnybarrow.com. See you soon.